Good morning, class ninth. Welcome again in the English class, and I hope you all are well. And I think you all have seen your marks, how many marks you have got in the first term examination, and are you all satisfied or not satisfied? You better know. But what I observed while checking those papers that many of you have cheated from each other. So I think this is not very correct. If we are going on online studies, if we are doing online studies, it doesn't mean that we will uh, forget our honesty and loyalty. We must go through with that. So I hope in future you won't cheat from anybody's paper or from any book or notebook. You will do yourself, because how many times you will cheat? Once or twice or thrice. After that you have to appear for actual exam, so please get ready for that. Stop cheating from each others. So that's, I will stop my moral lecture and start the next session of our the lesson Last Leaf, written by O. Henry. This is a very wonderful story about two girls of two friends, Sui and Johnsy. Let's recall the done part, but we have done in our previous video. We have discussed the theme of this story, about the author of the story, and the half of the story we have done in our previous video. And what we have done, just recollect the lesson again. In this story, there are two friends, namely Johnsy and Sui. Johnsy suffers from pneumonia and links her illness with the leaves of ivy creeper. She thinks that the fall of the last leaf of the ivy creeper, uh, she should die. Sorry, she would die. This negative thoughts of her makes her illness worse, because due to this negative thoughts, no medicine act upon her illness. Her friend Sweet tells her to stop thinking so pessimistically. Pessimistically means negatively. But she keeps thinking negatively. So let's begin with the new paragraph, page number 46, second paragraph. All right, said Johnsy. Finish your painting soon, for I want to see the last leaf fall. I'm tired of waiting. I have to die. So let me go away peacefully like one of those poor, tired leaves. Now, in these lines, Johnsy agreed and asked Sweet to finish the painting so that she could be in time to see the last leaf fall off the ivy plant. As we studied earlier, that Johnsy thinks that when the last leaf of that ivy creeper will fall down, she will also die. So she asked her friend Sweet to do your work fast, to finish your painting fast, because I want to see the last leaf fall off ivy plant. She was tired of waiting to see it fall. She wanted to die and was tired just like the poor tired ivy creeper. So you can see this ivy creeper. Now try to sleep, said Sui. I have to paint an older miner. I will call Behrman up to be my model. In these lines, we asked Johnsy to try to get some sleep. As she had to paint an old miner, she would call upon their neighbor Behrman to be a model for her. Sui rushed down. Behrman lived on the ground floor. So for that, Sui went downstairs to the ground floor of the house where Behrman lived. Now, he was a 60-year-old painter. His lifelong dream was to paint a masterpiece. Just remember this line. His lifelong dream was to paint a masterpiece. But that had remained a dream. His dream remained a dream. Sui poured out her worries to Behrman. She told him how Johnsy was convinced that she would die when the last leaf fell. Now, Sui discussed her problems with the painter Behrman. Behrman was a 60-year-old painter. He aspired to paint a masterpiece. So he discussed Johnsey's condition with him. She said that Johnsey was sure that she would die when the last leaf fell off the ivy plant. Is she stupid? Asked Behrman. How can she be so foolish? Now at this, Behrman commented that Johnsey was being silly. She is running a high temperature, complained Sui. She refuses to eat or drink, and that worries me a lot. Now, Sui said that Johnsey was suffering from a very high fever. She was not eating also. She was worried about her health and worried about her also and for her health also. I will come with you and see Johnsey, Behrman said. Behrman went to see Johnsey. They tiptoed into the room. Johnsey was sleeping. Sui drew the curtains together and they went to the next room. She peeped out through the window. They both had peeped out of the window. Peeped out means looked out. There was only one leaf on the creeper. It was raining heavily and an icy cold wind. Icy cold means very chill. Very cold wind was blowing. It seemed as though the leaf would fall any minute now. Behrman did not say a word. He went back to his room. Now they entered the room quietly. Tiptoed means very quietly. Johnsey was asleep. Sui drew the curtains and they went to the adjoining room. Sui looked out of the window. There was only one leaf left on the creeper plant. There was heavy rain accompanied by strong cold winds. The leaf was due to fall. Due to fall is about to fall. Any moment. Behrman did not say anything and went back to his room. Johnsey woke up next morning. In a feeble voice, she asked. Feeble means very slow, weak voice. She asked Sui to draw the curtains. Sui was nervous. She drew back the curtains very reluctantly. Reluctantly means very unwillingly. Now next morning, Johnsey woke up and in a very weak voice, she asked Johnsey to open the curtains. Sui was worried and hesitantly drew them back. Drew them back means drew the curtains back. Oh, Sui exclaimed as she looked at the vine creeper. Look, there is still one leaf on the creeper. It looks quite green and healthy. In spite of the storm and the fierce winds, it didn't fall. Now, what had happened? Let's see. Sui was glad as she announced that there still was one leaf. Sui, her friend, who really very worried about her friend Johnsey, she was very excited and excitedly she announced that there still was one leaf on the creeper. It appears green and healthy. It had not fallen despite the storm because and in the previous night there was a rain and heavy storm also. But a single leaf was still there. So that's all for today's video. We will continue this lesson in our next video. Till then, try to read the lesson very carefully, line to line, and try to understand each word and each line of the lesson. Draw the activity of the lesson, and in the next video, we will finish the lesson and discuss the question answers. Thank you, class. Have a nice day.